On August 7, 1998, nearly simultaneous bombs blew up in front of the American embassies in Nairobi, Kenya and Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
What I saw, I never ate meat for a whole month because of the bloodbath. Black and white hound red, they are being saved, being brought down to be taken to hospitals, and we started helping, praying with the people and helping where we could.
For Faith, it was a day that would change the trajectory of her life.
The truth is that when there was that bang, everybody for himself. I would also say that I don't know how I reached down. I found myself in Kenyatta, in the middle of young children.
All the chaos and confusion made it hard for families to trace their kin.
I think I got a call from TSC because that's where she was working. Nikaambiwa they have been rushed to hospital. So when I went there, the first day we couldn't trace them because there were so many people.
At the time, Faith was working as a junior accountant for the Teachers Service Commission.
And I acquired a seat at the SACCO, Mwalimu SACCO. So that morning, I was supposed to be at Bima. Bima, that is where I was sentenced. But I decided to go back to Co-operative House to do some politics because we had a Mwirigi education day next day where I was the chairperson. I started from 13th floor. I went down making my politics. I came to the 10th floor. So when I came to the 10th floor, that is some of my friends, because that is where the studies was housed. I greeted them. They invited me for a cup of tea. But I told them that tea we are taking on Monday. I don't know what happened. Somebody told me, who tells you tutakuwa kwa Monday na tukunywe? And then I told them, na kama hamtakuwa, mimi nitakuwa. I was telling them they come for the education, they run a lot, and all of a sudden, before 10 minutes were over, there was a very big bang.
This was the sound of the truck bomb going off, and as Faith reflects, life became a blur.
The truth is that when there was that bang, everybody for himself. And later on, I was told Matu, the young man was called Matu, he was sacked out. He died anyway. The young man, the one who was tapping on the table to update me, he died. He was sacked out. I was told after the mission, he died. I would also say that I don't know how I reached down, but I found myself at some point, I went unconscious. I found myself in Kenyatta, in the middle of young children. I was taken to a ward of children, and I was not traced by my family for 2 days.
Faith's husband Silas was having a normal day in the office as he got information of the tragic incident.
I think I got a call from TSC because that's where she was working. Nikaambiwa they have been rushed to hospital. So when I went there, the first day we couldn't trace them because there were so many people. Actually, we were even assisting the nurses hold those, the water they were feeding on people. So the first day I could get her, but we got her the following day when we found she was already, she had already got her place. She was so much not able to assist herself. But after a while anyway, we got a young man who was also, I think he was a patient one time at Kenyatta, but he could not be released because they couldn't pay the bill. So that boy is the one who was assisting her, kama ni chakula nini kumletea.
In the village where Faith was born and raised, news had traveled fast, and with that came concerns of her whereabouts.
They were calling. There were no phones that time, but we ended the Kenya Post and the Telecommunication, the one of the war. They were calling, and unfortunately some of my relatives went to stay in my house. They were using my car, reporting banditry, we are not getting her. And my dad got crazy anyway. And they started coming the next day. But fortunately, he found me on Sunday. The immediate family in Nairobi found me on Saturday, but my dad came. They saw me on Sunday, unconscious.
Reverend Joyce Moria is a close friend to Faith, and her memory of the events of that day show just how God saved her life.
I was the end of education department, St. Paul's Primary, because I had an education background with the student council. When I went, the administrator, Mrs. Mother, wait and get the book you signed for me, student get the book. I'm meeting Mr. Sogomo way, our boss at 7. Kitabu imepotea. Anaambia usiende. Nakaba mpaka saa 3. Rosina, the librarian in St. Paul's, I was to meet her in the library. And go to the library. Rosina ameenda nyumbani. I ran there because I have to meet my boss, so I want to study. So Rosina akienda kwa library, mimi naenda kwa nyumba. Akienda kwa nyumba naenda mpaka saa 5. Can you imagine? So God is in a mission of saving me, and I don't know. Then I used the matatu. How? When we reach at Ruaka, Jesus, we met a matatu coming from Nairobi. Don't go there. Nairobi ni kubaya. Dereva tuko naye anakuja, anamwambia, he tells him, you don't want me to go and take people because you have taken yours. I'm going. Tulikuja. Then when we reach the Koja Mosque, askari atambia, nyinyi jinga sana. Huko ni kubaya, Murundi.
Having attained certification as a trained first aider from St. John's Ambulance, Reverend Joyce was allowed to pass, and she went to the scene to help.
What I saw, I never ate meat for a whole month because of the bloodbath. Blood, masima moto, wamesima moto. Hata marini wengine, they are standing on whatever, because they don't know what is next. These people, bombed. And black and white and red, they are being saved, being brought down to be taken to hospitals. And we started helping, praying with the people and helping how we could. To carry, we got the graphs, put people in the ambulances.
For Faith, once she got to hospital, her path to recovery started with immediate medical attention.
There were very many clinics to follow up, that is now. Between 1998 August and February 1999. So between there, the clinics. 1999 we were gone back for reconstruction because the first time it was like the first thing they were doing. But this time they were bringing reconstruction of the engrafting of the skin, and to make you look better. Some of us were in very big scars with the currents. And we were taken back to Kenyatta. We were taken through the engrafting. But remember, and I injured ear and drum. So the effect of the injured ear and drum was, I was falling. Again, when I went back to, so the doctor also misdiagnosed. They thought maybe I had a neck injury. That is why I was falling, and I was put on a cervical collar.
Silas had taken the role of looking after the family as she attended to his wife at the hospital.
okay, first of all, make sure that the children go to school on time. And then with her is like, I'll go there, assist her in feeding if a need arises. And it was quite challenging because, I mean, you can imagine somebody is immobile, wananiambia hata huyu mama hawezi jiosha, but you could imagine at her state she couldn't do anything. I was lucky, and our boss, who was quite understanding, he allowed me to even be teaching my classes in the evening. I think he talked to the students couldn't understand, because if it meant, let's say, going to hospital, it will take quite some time. And even when she came home, still she was that immobile, so one had to be there to attend to her, give her the food and all that.
Faith was scheduled for ear surgery as a remedy for the failing she was experiencing, but it was not successful.
So when I went there, they said the operation will be for only 1 hour. But when I went there at 9, they said by noon I will be out. But even at 4 I was not out. Even at 7 I was not out. I came out at around 11 night on 28th of February 1999. I went. It was accident, and the next day when I woke up, a doctor came to me and he told me, from today, never agree to be operated again on your ear. Then I asked what is the problem. He said, I'm even surprised you are still alive.
She was released from hospital with a scheduled appointment 2 weeks later, and in waiting, the stigma she faced was so heartbreaking.
That time we were staying at UNEP is on your way to Gashie. There are a lot of Kikuyus. And then you hear somebody say, huyu amerimwa sana na bwana yake, kwani alimfanyia nini? Because of the scars. So it wasn't very friendly to heal the scars. And again, remember, niko na a lot of scars all over. Na niko na cervical cord. I was walking with my neck high. There is that stigma. The people around, even the ones who are attending to you, especially the neighbors.
A visit to the hospital 2 weeks later would see her get a recommendation to seek medical attention abroad.
When I went home, I continued falling. So unless I go to work with a member of the family, I couldn't go to work. So the employer also told me, you go and sort out your problems. When you finish, you come back. I went back, and then the doctor looked for, or the hospital, or the government of Kenya, they looked for a visiting doctor in Kenyatta who suggested I can go to Holland. And when I go to Holland, they will do an operation on me because they had the better equipment. But now they needed money, which we could not get. That was 99. 2000, now I couldn't work at all, but the employer was not harassing. Couldn't take sick offs for 1 month, 2 months. Remember, the policy of the government is 90 days, then you are removed from the payroll. But I thank the government because for the bomb blast, it was treated in a special way, so we were not affected so much.
Faith was now keen on traveling abroad, but it came with its own challenges and limitations.
And stopped going to church because to me, God did not make sense in my life. Remember, I was saved. He had helped me so much achieve, but that being helpless, I did not find God to be sensible to me. And therefore, when around 1st of May 2001, there was a sponsor. The Americans decided to take me for treatment in Holland through AMREF.
AMREF wanted me to go with her, although we had to kind of pay for that air ticket because ours was paid for by the US. But on a second thought, nikaona it will be so challenging for me. You have left the children here without anybody. But what gave me the most assurance was that there is a nurse AMREF gave who was accompanying her and mtu alikuwa anajuana, so I felt she's in safe hands.
When we reached there, the first task was to go to hospital, and I went to hospital St. Lucas. I was treated by a doctor called Antiveric. He's a very good mzee now. I hope Ngondi hearing. When I get his strength, I'm going to do for him. He helped me. He coordinated a team of doctors, and on the third day, I was taken to the theater. After 120 minutes, that is 2 hours, I was through with the operation.
We are living in a lost and broken world, constantly bombarded by messages of hate and atrocities. But with God, we can overcome. Find hope and restoration on the go through life-changing shows on the Family Media app.
And then you will lose yourself and gain the world. And Jesus said, what good is it?
Get to stream Family TV and Family Radio 316 straight from your phone. Catch up on a show you missed or create video streaming playlists by saving and watching videos from our huge variety of shows at your own convenience. Download the Family Media app, available for all Android and iOS users on the Google Play Store and Apple Store respectively. Family Media, keeping Jesus on the airwaves.
Due to the other detrimental effects of the blast, not only physically, Faith was to go through counseling as well.
From the time I was operated, I have not fallen to the ground, but I would feel the symptoms. So remember, I've been done operation the first week, so the other around 3-4 weeks was up, and they made sure that I was stable. They advised me, we are now through with the medical bit, which would have disturbed you for life. But stress-related problems will remain with you. Then I asked them, what can I do? They told me, you will continue being cancelled or you run counseling. So after our time was over, I came back to Kenya. I now continued being treated and being cancelled.
All was not okay, and with that came a lot of anger.
Because I thought everybody was against me, I also developed an attitude of being very harsh. I could not walk, so nikaambiwa you've been going for physical therapy, occupational therapy, and counseling. Kenya Technical Training, where we were living, has a big compound, so we used to take us to the field with the children. My daughter was 3 years old, and we could walk with her in the field. And then I could see she's running and unpita. I became so harsh. When I went to the house, nikimwita ananiambia, Anakataa, she refuses to come. Ambia nitakuchapa, nani atakuamsha hapo unichape? So I started being very harsh. I won't break whatever is near me.
Faith's resolve was shaken to the core, and this saw her lose her connection with God.
She even used to carry a small booklet. It was written, "When God doesn't make sense." So it was quite a major challenge because one, you'd walk with her, then she gets tired, then you go back. Also, sometimes you get so moody, like you tell her you walk, she doesn't want to. So, but I would imagine, I think most of it was coming from trauma she experienced. So we could understand that. I remember even when she was doing her physiotherapy at UPDK, you know that place in Westlands, persons with disability. So sometimes I could drive her there. She just reaches there and says she's not doing anything. So we still have to go back. And so there was that level of anger, feeling that why did this thing happen to me? But then, what was comforting me is because some places you go, you find like some of our colleagues who are so much injured, I'm now able to start making the comparative, you feel she's a bit better.
A turning point was looming as Faith dug deeper and sought to see herself get better.
I got tired of telling my stories. Because counseling, by the way, in night exploration, you have to give your story. So I decided I go to school. Remember, after you undone that injury, your mind wraps everything. You see things familiar. I could only remember the name of my family members. The rest, they were all familiar. Look at them here, you look familiar. I was a psychiatrist called Dr. Mutiso. And I realized he was understanding me more than other counselors. I thought they were all counselors. And when I have a problem with sleep, they give me something to sleep. They really took care of us. Then at some point, I decided to run counseling. But remember, I'm not remembering anything. I started with computer classes to see whether I can remember. I started reading novels, and that is how I motivated my mind to come back again.
With growing concerns from her workplace, she was supported to pursue a career transition from accounts to counseling.
You feel that it was quite unfair to us, but thank God she recovered and went back to work. But when she went back to work, I think that was after about 3 years. I remember the first time she was given an assignment to go out, she went and overpaid some people. Reason was, she was an accountant, her mind is not quite well up, so even counting the monies was a headache. So one time I remember TSC calling me and telling me, this lady, I think we may have to retire her on medical grounds. But then on a second thought, wakaniuliza, is there something else she likes? Nikawambia, I normally see her wanting so much to serve the people, so I would imagine something like counseling may help her. And that's how TSC actually ended up sponsoring her to Amani Counselling Center, and that way she developed it, actually up to master's.
For her master's thesis, Faith did a case study on her colleagues who survived the bomb blast, and with that came stern revelations.
I did thesis in effects of trauma on TSC bomb blast survivors. So effects will also go with, after going through the trauma, what is this you can do? Then the symptoms, what do you do? Some of them will run to abusing alcohol. Others will be depressed and commit suicide. I saw quite a number of TSC, about 3, 4. A number of them, almost 5, who committed suicide at some point. I have also seen a point which was given in Holland that in 20 years, most of the bomb blast survivors will be suffering cancer because of the exposure to the radiations. And I have seen it, quite a number also. I have seen it. So when I did my master's, at least I can say emotionally, and despite there is your natural you, but you can be, when you are aware what can happen, you can control your anger.
She is the founder of Siloam Counselling Center, a place that was born out of the need to be there to transform the lives of others.
I decided, why can't we have somewhere where we can be helping people, even if it is for a fee? And that is how, that is how we were able to open this center. Then by that in June again, I got my master's in counseling. After that, we started getting clients. In 2019, I saw something about mediation. I went and did. 2019 to 2020, before the corona, I started a diploma in project management at Kim, which I finished and graduated. Then after a while, I decided again and go back. I was sponsored by Shiromo Group Hospital to do again postgraduate diploma in mental health disorders.
She counsels a lot of teachers, let's say those who are in heavy drinking. Kwa maana hata ukienda huko kwao kazini wanasema ile mama wa walevi. But I think she's a job she does with a lot of passion. She assists them, and even themselves, they have a way of saying, if they know somebody has a drinking problem, anaambiwa aenda huko kwa TSC, tafuta Faith.
As a close confidant to Faith, Reverend Joyce played a key role in helping her build back her relationship with God.
Through the friendship and encouraging her, beginning to pray with her and giving her counsel, because me, I did counseling before her. She came to do it in Daystar thereafter, which was very good, and that's why she did the diploma. And she got encouraged, and she picked up as she continued getting counseling and healthy care, medication, and operations and all that. And got the revelation opening, Siloam, and told me, come over, we continue with the work of God.
Then I asked myself, why was I spared if God was not there? But that sense does not come automatically. It came slowly. Reality came slowly. Otherwise, if you just go and close yourself in a house, you can even reject God. But we had many guests from the Methodists in Nairobi, the two Methodists where we got married. They came to the house. They prayed with us. They stayed with us. There was a lot of talk. And it took me around 6 months. You go, the other month you may choker. I think eventually I realized not everybody is bad and God is there.
More than 20 years since the devastating attack, survivors like Faith are keen to move on, but others are hoping for compensation.
It has taken so long that some have lost hope, and it doesn't look like it can come. I think we should not expect people to help us even to bring that money. There are so many. Daniel prayed, and he was told, he waited for the prayer to come and it did not come. And he was told, your prayer came long time, but it was hijacked. I tend to think we should do something else now. If I waited to get something so that I can live a better life, I would have been the most desperate person. But I can say through my achievement, through education, I feel even when I'm sharing with the people and I'm helping people, I feel fulfilling.
Healing from trauma after tragic events is never easy, and as Faith acknowledges, a support system is very important in aiding that.
I want to appreciate God that this 5 years taken me through. I have seen a lot. I also want to appreciate my family. Let me say, without a family and you are down, I'm telling you, I don't know what I would have done. But my family has been very supportive. And then they have also made my children be resilient. Even when I'm very sick, somebody will tell me, oh, Mom is so sick. I hope she won't die. And then my children will tell them, Mom would have died at the bomb blast. This time she can't die. Because sometimes I'm a bit sick. So you hear the, I've understood it. Yani resilient is too high. Then also my employer, there is no time my employer has ever doubted my sick off. Remember they also paid for my diploma. I can say when you are surrounded by the correct people who are humanistic, you can make it even when you have undergone trauma.